This episode of Watchers Week is sponsored by uh Ash- uh is sponsored by Asha Jigs. Asha Jigs. um no, it's sponsored by Chipotle. Yeah. Sponsored by Chipotle. How about that? Is that better? this this episode of Watchers Week is sponsored by Chipotle. Chipotle, when you want to eat something the size of an ostrich egg. How about that?
Those ostrich eggs better not be genetically modified, all right?
Yeah, for sure. Hi guys, welcome to Watch This Week. This is a terrible show for terrible people because that's who we are and that's who we care about. No, we're here to talk about nerd stuff and nerd things, and with you guys, nerds. Speaking of nerds, I have a couple here with me. I have here, as always, Steven. Steven, how's it going?
Ready to throw down, Orphan Boy.
Okay, no need for the name calling, but I understand. And also we have Chaz, aka Dr. Cosmic. What's up? How's it going, man?
What's going on, everybody? Listen up, listen up. Yondu, he's not dead, everybody. He's floating around out in space. I got a theory. I'm going to get to it towards the end. I'll let you know, so stick around. He's not dead. He's coming back. He's a very important cosmic character. He's coming back.
Oh, man. Okay,
Oh, man.
You know what? He is. I would definitely agree with you there that he's an important cosmic character, and I'm glad that we got to see him shine in this movie. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a what's it divide among MCU fans and Marvel fans and comic book fans in general about which Guardians movie is better than the other one. So I think we're gonna figure that out later on in the episode today. But first, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, which we're here to talk about today. Steven, why don't you go first? What are your thoughts on this second installation?
Right. The sequel for me was, I'm going to say it, is not as amazing as the first one, but the first one pulled the rug out of you, out from you. It was spectacular, amazing, unforeseen, talking raccoon and a talking tree. No can do. You can't do it in a movie. Boom, they did it. It was amazing. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. And then you get to the sequel, and it's not that. It's not the same. Wow, I can't believe what I'm watching. It's more like, okay, this is the heroes I know, and I love them. It's just that they're like kind of doing not the same thing, but like it's not as heart stopping or not as gut wrenching as the first one. But it's still a great movie. But I would say the first one just sucker punched me for everything that I had and stole my money.
Yeah, I think the thing about the first one too is that the story was a lot more put together. It was there was no really seams to be seen. This one, I feel like they kind of blew their load a little too soon with the whole beginning. They did. They wasted all their juices in the beginning. With the opening scene of them fighting the giant quote unquote space dog. I don't know where that came from because this thing is not a dog. All right, it's like a giant weird tendril child of Cthulhu, some weird creature with shark teeth. Which, by the way, it took me a couple of times to watch this movie before I realized that the giant tentacle creature was spitting out rainbows. I did not realize that. I thought that was just space dust that was floating around like some Kirby-esque, space dust. But no, he's spitting out rainbows, and it was pretty intense.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that,
I thought both opening scenes, uh, they they were quite contrasting with each other. I mean, we go from the first opening scene of Guardians, and it's this super dark and damp cave with Star-Lord in his, kind of very drab Ravager gear. And then it kind of lightens up with him dancing and stuff like that. Kind of shows you that even though, we're in a very serious setting, there's still fun to be had. Whereas this one, it's like super bright, super colorful, and you have little Groot front and center, dance around, or should I say, little not Groot, Groot, other Groot that I don't know who should we call. I mean,
It's
I
Baby
guess
Groot.
we can't
It's
call him
Baby
Groot.
Groot.
It will his name forever be Baby Groot, even as adulthood.
Well, how about BG? How about BG?
Oh,
BG.
BG.
I still don't buy into the thing that James Gunn said. I think is just
Oh,
to keep the talk going of Guardians.
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that other Easter egg that came out about the first Guardians? Because apparently there's like an Easter egg there that is like so big, and James Gunn's gonna like give him $1 million if you find that Easter egg.
No,
no.
I didn't hear about
That
this.
the Easter egg that somebody found recently that they shared with James Gunn, like, is this it? Was that you know how like Stan Lee did his cameo as just some like space civilian in that movie?
And that his name spells Excelsior in scroll.
Yeah. It says Excelsior in scroll in the text around it.
That's what they think it is.
They thought that's what it is. They were like, is this the super secret Easter egg, James Gunn? And he was like, no, that's not it. That's a good one though, but that wasn't the Easter egg I'm talking about. So
I feel
apparently
like
there's a
Do
secret Easter egg happening in
do
Guardians.
scrolls have a language? I never knew there was a language in the comics. The
oh
only
yeah, for
like,
sure. Absolutely, they had a language. I mean, everybody has a language, really.
but I mean, was it like translated like how the Kryptonian language was in the comic books, where they actually had like a uh, transcriber in the back of the comic book or whatever?
No,
I wasn't big on the cosmic stuff in Marvel early on. I mean, I'm sure now there's probably like a scroll language
Yeah,
decipher out there,
because I thought
but
they just
I
used
mean,
random symbols.
yeah.
me,
So yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I think James Gunn is just he's eccentric, and I think that is going on that's airing on the side of, some negative points of it that we're seeing here.
so wait, what you're saying, Cosmic, is that BG? You don't believe that BG's different as Groot is from the first movie?
No, he's the same Groot. He has to be the
No.
same Groot. He's the same Groot. He has all the memories still. Like it's
No,
just it's too
no.
much.
I'm
Well, we
afraid
don't know that. I was gonna say.
It's too much
James
of a
Gunn.
jump.
James Gunn said it. He said it.
It's a leap. I know what he said, but he's kind of off his rocker. You know, he's kind of out there, like what Tim was saying. He's eccentric. He's just trying to keep the Guardian talk alive. He's trying to, get ready to promote Guardians 3 and what that's all going to be about.
James Gunn just doesn't want you to believe in what's it called?
Love.
No.
Reincarnation. I don't know.
Reincarnation. Yeah, reincarnation.
Okay, wait a minute. Why would Rocket be so upset that Groot was sacrificing himself if he knew that, like, oh, I'll just have my buddy back in a couple of years?
He didn't know that. That was the whole point. He didn't know he could do that because it never came up.
It never came up. Hey, Ace, we're about to die. I have this thing where I can reincarnate myself and I'll have all my memories. No, that's what happens when they die, is that, isn't that what happens? He was like planting his seeds all over that planet, and then Rocket picked up that one seed and like took it with him. That's all new Groots.
Is
That's how
that
they
what Groot did with the flower with the little girl? Because
go.
we need to report him.
Hey, little girl, don't tell anybody, but that's gonna turn into a little one day.
Let's go in my little tree canopy.
Okay. You know what? This is not what the movie's about, though.
Groot's just a tree that wants to get himself out there.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
Um,
uh, I
I was
mean,
gonna say,
like commenting on what we were saying earlier about Guardians 2 somewhat not being as seamless as the first Guardians, I think that, I mean, that just falls under the timeline that they're in right now in the grand scheme of things. Now they have to be one of those puzzle pieces that has to fit on this and this end. It's a middle piece, whereas before Guardians was like, just starting out. They didn't have to really bend too much.
Yeah.
false, clearly false, because in the first movie they had an Infinity Stone and
Fake.
Thanos in it. Yeah, that one was probably more strict in the Marvel timeline, and this one had nothing to do with anybody. There was no Infinity Stones, no Thanos. The only Celestial was killed. The only thing that they had going for them is Adam Warlock at the end.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They couldn't. That's what they couldn't change any of that because it was already a railroad track.
Well,
That's what I'm
here's
saying. They couldn't. It was a story that was kind of beyond time because they couldn't mess any of that stuff up. It
here's the
was
thing
just
too.
what are they doing while all this is going on.
Yeah, here's the thing too, because what I was getting at with the seams is the first movie, the story was a little bit more put together because the threat I feel did affect the cosmos, whereas this one it was a little too personal. It wasn't as you know, it wasn't this galactic threat where there was like this army and everything. And yeah, I understand that he's a celestial or whatever, but the whole build up to that and the whole payoff wasn't all that rewarding. Like I feel like the first Guardians, the reason people compared it to Star Wars so much, they were like, "Oh, this is the new Star Wars," is because it was like this war that was happening. It was like an actual, there were politics behind it, and it was cool to have these sort of rebellious people go against those certain politics and, face again a threat that actually threatened the galaxy.
What
That's a
did you?
very
Yeah.
that's a very good point that I hadn't thought of, and or of why the success of the first movie did so well. But yeah, I completely agree that even though the problem was that we only got a few select alien races in this one, I think in the first one we got like 20 or 8 of them. This one it was like all you get is gold people. You get a bunch of golden people who are
Yeah.
snooty. Okay.
I was gonna ask about that. What are you guys' feelings and thoughts on the Sovereign?
They sucked. They sucked really bad. One of the worst villains. You know what? Today, this is the worst villain ever in the MCU.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have expected so much from them had they not done the Adam Warlock. So, like, they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that ending. Because then I was like, oh, what? I was like, this is the build up to Adam Warlock. That was your big move. So yeah, like in retrospect, I wanted it to be better. I just don't know like how they could have done that. And I think it was cool. Like at least they gave them like somewhat of a, I guess you could call it a philosophy for lack of a better word, because they were they didn't mind fighting, but they were still like somewhat peaceful about it. Like they didn't put their own men at
Yeah,
risk, their own lives at risk. They had these drone ships, uh, and so that was pretty cool. But they were just kind of one note.
I was gonna say. I think my main problem with them is basically that they were not treated seriously necessarily. There was a lot of jokes with them and a lot of, like
Silliness.
it felt like they weren't the big bad, which technically they really weren't. They were just kind of a hindrance while eventually when we get to Ego becoming a bad guy,
They were
he's the
like,
one threatening the entire universe. The Sovereign just wants to kill the Guardians.
right. It
Yeah,
was like Team Rocket against like a main bad guy. You're like,
That's
Team
a good
Rocket,
one.
I don't
Yeah.
have time for this. We're facing the main bad guy. And you're like, I'm the main bad guy. And you're like, no, you're not, Team Rocket. Go blast off into
So
space.
So yeah, I feel like the movie in itself has enough humor in it and enough jokes in it where we didn't really need to kind of belittle the Sovereign. If we got the Sovereign and um, they were kind of treated a little bit more seriously, then when it came to the Adam Warlock drop, it was like I feel like it wouldn't have been kind of a little out of character because I definitely was again surprised at, oh, this is where it's leading. Like these guys are a bunch of like, joke people. I
Right.
did not think that it was gonna come to Adam Warlock. So that kind of makes me a little bit um cautious on what Adam Warlock is gonna be like when he's created.
What I'm thinking is that the only way that the Sovereign can redeem themselves with Adam Warlock is that we cut to like, I don't know, maybe the end of Infinity War, because I don't know how Adam Warlock is gonna fit in there. So I'm
He's
guessing
the
he's gonna be
he's the gauntlet.
He's the gauntlet.
But I assume he's gonna be an end credit scene, where he's gonna. The only way to redeem the Sovereign is that Adam Warlock is standing over all the corpses of the Sovereign, and he's like killed them all, and he just like stares at the screen and is like, "I'm coming for like somebody, like the Guardians. Like I'm coming for the Guardians would be great. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
like it? Because then you'll be
Well,
like, oh, all those silly, dim-witted army of holy golden people are dead because of the monster they created. That would be amazing.
yeah. I mean, they could definitely go a lot of different ways. Um,
Because he's a bad guy, right? Adam Warlock.
yeah. Oh well, I mean, he was also a hero of um, I'm forgetting what it's supposed to be called, but it's supposed to be like a reverse Earth or
Okay.
like an Earth that doesn't exist in our plane. It like exists in a middle plane, so it's technically like close to where Earth is, but we can't see it or something like that. And he's like the Superman slash only hero of that world, and that was the thing where this is getting a little bit into the history of Adam Warlock as the comic book character, but that was the reason for doing that, for making him this hero of basically, I forget what it's called, but we're just calling it Other Earth. Being the hero of Other Earth was that whenever he didn't have adventures with the main Marvel cast like Captain America or Iron Man or Fantastic Four or something like that, then whenever, like, if people were questioning like what's going on with Adam Warlock, oh, he's at Other Earth doing his job basically. So that's was the whole concept of Other Earth, was that we that was a creative way of putting him on the shelf while the the heroes that kind of made the money did their thing and sell comic books, and
Yeah.
he would just jump
And
in for the tie-in adventures.
also like the continuity with Adam Warlock is kind of all over the place. He's died so many times and come back, and even he is like, am I the same Adam Warlock as before? And the readers are just like, who cares, and blah blah blah. And then a new writer would come and do a different thing with him. So like, yeah, it's kind of all over the place. I think that's why in the new Adam Warlock #1 they kind of address that issue,
So
and they're like traveling through time
What
now.
how,
But
what did I was going to ask you guys, what did we think of all the our favorite Guardians, um, seeing them again on the big screen? What did you guys think of the Guardians in this movie? Where they're at, what kind of emotional adventures they go through the whole thing. I mean, obviously, Star-Lord's is a big one, but any particular ones you wanted to talk about?
well, Star-Lord, I mean, he kind of has an arc, but he's still Star-Lord. For me, the one that really stands out is Gamora and Nebula.
Mm,
I really like how their relationship evolved, and it's still, in the process of evolving. Because, like, I mean,
Yeah,
it literally seems like up and down, up and down. Like right now, I'm pretty sure they're cool with one another, but who knows if that's going to change
Yeah,
in
they
Infinity
hugged it
War.
out at the end. They're fine. They hugged it out.
Yeah, because
my
I'm pretty sure like at this point, Nebula just wants to get back at Thanos for
my
whatever.
biggest thing is Gamora is the problem. um,
She
yeah, I
is.
mean,
She
I
is.
I totally thought that was the. I think Gamora is the biggest problem. I think with this movie because she is super contradictory, and I think Star Lord points it out where she's
Oh
like,
wait, she's the
"You should."
problem of the movie?
Yeah, well, because like I said, they're. I really liked Gamora in the first one. I think she was really fine at how she was kind of like the only serious one. Like that was the joke. And I mean, she did do the whole Kevin Bacon line, which that was the thing. Like she took it very, she took that story, quote unquote, uh, that Star Lord told her, and she took it to at face value and was like, yeah, this we are like Kevin Bacon, and so that's what I thought was funny that she thought it was very genuine. But so I liked her in the first one. The second one, she's like they do that whole will they won't they thing with Star Lord and Gamora. Like that's something there, but nothing ever really ever comes out of it. I mean, it's just again more hinted. Um, then she does the whole you should connect with your dad, and then later on she's mad at Star Lord for connecting with the dad over them. Like that, like I thought that was very like Star Lord points it out, like you told me to do this. This is on you, and then now she's like trying to make it sound like he's the bad guy for having to listen to her. I thought that was just I felt like they didn't know what to do with her character, so they just always had her going against the grain of whatever the group was doing.
Okay, here's the thing: is that Gamora thought that going with Ego was going to be like going to Disneyland or Disney World, whatever, which one is closest to you. She's like, hey, it's going to be really great. I had a lot of, you're going to have a lot, you're going to miss out if you don't go, immediately. You have to go. You've never been to Disneyland, got to go to Disneyland. But once you're at Disneyland and you see everything, you see all the horrible mascots who are barfing on the inside and trying not to pee.
The lines are so long. There's kids everywhere.
Yeah, it's terrible. And
The
that's what
staff looks like they want to kill themselves. I have to pay for alcohol.
yeah. $24 for a hot dog. Who are you kidding me? And so she had that mentality. And then when she got there at Disney World, she's like, this sucks. I want to leave immediately. Like as soon as she stepped foot, she was skeptical. She didn't want to be there. She wanted to be alone. Exactly how a person is at Disneyland when they think they want to go. But in actuality, once you get there, the grass isn't greener on the other side. You're green. Alien.
Yeah, yeah. Now that Tim brings it up or points it out, I kind of agree with him. Like she probably should have been against him going with Ego from the get-go, just because she has so many issues with her father.
Yeah.
That yeah, it
Well,
kind of
I
doesn't
mean,
really
that
make
might come
sense.
out later, where she's like, "Yeah, I actually wish I wish they would have stuck to something. I would have been fine if she was like so much like, yeah, you should get together with Ego, and then it turned about like because I have dad issues. Like, you don't think I would want to, play space catch with my space dad? You know,
Yeah. Well,
No,
they
she
could have done
like,
that, but I would have preferred her being against it
yeah,
just because.
I I think I would have been fine with them just choosing one rather than her flip flop.
Right.
On the other side, I feel like as great as the ensemble in these movies are, and obviously Zoe Saldana, you do a great job. This is off the character, not your performance. But Dave Bautista, man, did I go from hating him in the first movie to loving him in this movie? Like total 180. He is like the heart and soul of this franchise now, I think. Just
Not for me.
straight
Not
up
for me.
killed it. Okay, well, we're not friends anymore.
The nipple scene in particular, not a
That
fan of.
was hilarious.
I
No,
agree that
no.
the nipple scene is not that great, but dang, is Dave Paz, I don't know his name, is Drax
Batista.
really confusing at times, I would
I
say.
mean, that nipple joke slash line is makes sense. Like, why doesn't he ever wear a shirt ever?
Oh,
But he
that is
doesn't have nipples. It doesn't make. I don't know. It wasn't funny to me.
that's
I
what
mean,
I,
I liked his chemistry with Mantis a lot, and the jokes worked for him then. But
oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
I still don't buy Dave Bautista as an actor. Like his dialogue works, whatever. It's funny.
I think
Um,
I think I'm surprised at how he does comedy very well versus, let's say, another ex pro wrestler like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I don't think he's funny. I think he's a good actor. I don't think he's funny though.
did you
yeah,
see
he
that
should
one with
do
Kevin
more.
Hart?
Dave Batista, I think, is funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The Rock needs to do more dramatic roles. Like when he did Walking Tall, that was really great.
okay, let's not date ourselves here, Mr. 2000 and never. Yeah, that came on FX, I think, back 9 years ago.
It was
Jesus.
so good though.
Yeah,
Like he needs to
I'm
do more dramatic stuff.
I'm surprised I've seen Dave Batista in more dramatic roles than uh, The Rock. I feel like The Rock could shine better in those roles than Dave Batista, and Dave Batista, I think, could do better in comedy roles.
Well, let's see how he does with Black Adam. Let's see how he does that before we
True.
man. Let's see him. Let's put him in a superhero outfit. I was gonna say with Drax for me, that emotional scene on the steps of Ego's palace with Mantis, when he was just like, my wife and kid would like this, and then Mantis was like, that's a weird thing to say. Let me just see how you're feeling there, bud. And then she immediately starts crying, and that Drax is just holding it inside himself, probably
Yeah.
all day, every day, just the sorrow of losing his wife and kid. Oh man, does that tug at the heartstrings?
Well, it's a somber silence. I mean, when you lose your family like he did, I mean, I guess not in a similar fashion, but at least in the sense of losing it, your whole family. Um, I mean, technically, I don't think that sadness goes away, but you live with it. You just carry it with you, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
Mantis getting
all
into that.
understand loss. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought
You know,
again, like you said, really great scene, but at the same time, on on the other side, he's able to do the other side of the coin, and do lines like my turds are famously huge. Like, I think that's hilarious.
right. Also, what is Drax? What alien is he? Because the fact that he doesn't die after being dragged around from a spaceship, being smashed into like huge like sequoia trees, and he doesn't die. What is he?
He, I don't know. I don't know what he is, to be honest.
That's
Like
something.
he has to be some sort of uh, biological being, but at the same time in the comics he's more of like an android. So I don't know if in the movie they're like eventually going to retrofit that to where he's some kind of uh, bio. What do you call those? Bio tech, biomech. Uh,
Biometric.
no, not biomech. That's what you read. That's not a thing. But uh, or nanorganic, I guess is what they call it, right? That's a thing.
Huh.
Anyway, like he's going to be some sort of technological creature that has, I don't know, somewhat evolved or something where it's like biological now. But I don't know. They probably won't explain it because it's weird like that. It doesn't even make any sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. It's like that it's like what Korg says.
Yeah. No.
The only thing that makes sense is that it doesn't make sense.
That is true about this movie.
Speaking
Uh,
of what makes sense and doesn't make sense, what are your guys's feelings toward Ego? I feel like we need to get into this cartoon character.
So we can
uh,
sweep it under the rug.
yeah, I think I guess yeah, I think I think Chaz has some stuff to say about it, so why don't you go first?
Well, I don't have too much to say about Kurt Russell because that's whatevs. But I do have a lot to say about freaking. Oh man, I can't even think of his name now.
Ego, James Gunn,
No,
Feige,
no, no.
Sylvester Stallone,
The swimmer dude from the SpongeBob movie.
Oh, David
David
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff.
David. Oh, jeez, that took me out of the movie so bad, so bad.
I felt it was a little unnecessary.
Like
Like,
this movie was already bumpy for me, and then when that scene happened, I was like, all right, you overdid it. You
yeah,
overdid it. There's two things that, you know,
you
two
can't
types
have
of two types of jokes that take me out of a movie. Slapstick, unless it's done really well, and then just corny, like over the top silliness, goofiness
they
like
tried to have
this.
their cake and eat it too. Like it would have been. I thought it was funny when they first mentioned it. When again, Gamora didn't understand the story about the boat and David Hasselhoff. The story. He's like, no, that was like Kit from Knight Rider and all that kind of stuff. That part was funny. Later on, coming back to it, like I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that. I thought we were having a serious moment here about you killing his mom.
Yeah.
Well, no, you forget the moment where he pulls David Hasselhoff from his wallet and said, "That's my father."
Yeah, that's the same scene as the Gamora one.
Yeah.
No, no, that was on the Mantis. When they're on the Ego ship, right?
Yeah, that was like 5 minutes away from that scene. How can I counted that the whole same scene?
Well, no, that's not the whole same scene because they're at different places of time. One was at night in the woods, the other one's, in the morning
Re-
on
yeah.
Ego's ship.
Regardless, the thing of it is that sometimes Marvel has an issue with trying to bring jokes around that aren't that great, or they're good the first time, but then they overdo it and they try to bring it around full circle, and then by the time they bring it full circle, it's too much, or it doesn't pay off the way they thought it would. Because they did the same thing in Age of Ultron. What was the joke that we talked about in Age of Ultron that
Got
they
no
did
shows
like
on me.
3 times? Well, that wasn't really a joke. Was it the language? It wasn't language, was it?
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, there was that one. There was one other one. I can't think of it. But anyway, just watch our
Yeah,
Age of Ultron podcast and
the humor
you'll find
does
out.
at times feel definitely forced. Um, um, my biggest complaint about Ego
Is
is
that
how
he's
he
not a
just
celestial.
well, I mean that my I don't understand why it's kind of necessary to do that. I agree with what you're kind of saying in the very beginning about how the first one kind of had a little bit of realism to it with like what politics and that kind of stuff. So the stakes felt a little bit more serious in the first Guardian. And I think they definitely could have done that in this one if they kind of kept it to the source material and just made Kurt Russell Jason of Spartax. Um, Jason of Spartax, for people, again, who don't read comics, sorry. You can do a quick Wikipedia search, I guess, but I'll try to save you a click. Um, is the king of the planet Spartax. So it's Jason of Spartax. His name's just Jason, but it's spelled, weird.
Vegeta.
Yeah, he's the king of Spartax, and he's like big into military power, and he wants to like rule the galaxy. And when Peter comes along with the Guardians and is like, um, I'm your son, you're my son. I'm your son, you're my son. And then he's like, come rule with me the universe as my son and with my huge military alien, alien space army. Um, it becomes a little tempting to him because he's now not just Star Lord, but he's also Prince of Spartax. And I mean, yeah. So I feel like they could have done that.
I don't know. Once you become a guardian of the galaxy, it's hard to beat that. oh, do you want to become a prince of a nobody no name town that I name a planet after myself, and we're gonna try to rule everybody? Yeah, no thanks. I'm the guardian of the galaxy. Once I say my name, all bar tabs are free from now on, man.
Well, I mean, they're still taking jobs about protecting batteries from dumb monsters. You know,
Because those people are made out of gold, and they pay in like their babies that are made out of gold.
yeah, so he's not really like a big deal. He has a job.
Yeah, but
Just because you have a job doesn't mean you're a big deal.
just because a planet. Okay, first of all, I didn't get to say about that monster, but that monster sucks because how does an unpenetrable skin get cut by having already a small cut in there, and yet that brings the whole skin less impenetrable? What's up with that?
It's called plot armor.
Yeah, they could have totally stuck with Drax jumping into the stomach and just cutting his way through. That would have been pretty great too. But no, they're like, no, Gamora, you do something because somebody has to do it. And I guess we drew straws and you drew the worst straw and you're going to have to do a cool jump or something. I mean, it was awful. You're like, that thing has impenetrable skin, so you can't shoot it with guns. And you're like, okay, I guess that's it. You know?
Anyway, yeah, going back to the ego thing, my main problem, besides the source material one, I mean, I figured they weren't going to do that, and so I can't be too upset about that. But how my ego just so casually just is like, yeah, I killed your mom. Like, clearly we were talking about that, not just a few seconds ago about how I'm still upset about that. You had me in like the palm of your hand. I was totally ready to join you in taking over the universe. And then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I killed your mom. Like, what? It was like so, it was really ham-fisted. It's just like, oh no, yeah, you're totally cool about it. I was like, no, it it like it was just a way of how do we get Peter out of like, I mean, this great deal. Like people were like, I see no downside in controlling the universe with my dad.
I would say that ego was
Make the dad kill the mom. Oh, okay, yeah.
I would say that
make him a giant brain.
I would say that ego is testing Star-Lord to see how much of a hold he has on him. Because if he was still bothered by, mortal emotions, then he couldn't be as celestial like his father. You know, he had to.
I'm just saying, if he had such a big brain, like Chaz said, I don't think it would take that much thought to be like, you know what? I'm just not going to mention the mom killing thing. You know. He doesn't need to know about that.
I can't stay mad at ego because ego is the gateway for the Fox and the Marvel deal to have gone through.
How so?
Well, remember that James Gunn was writing this movie about ego, which Fox owned. James Gunn didn't know that Marvel didn't own the rights to ego, so he goes, "Hey, Fox, I need ego as a character. It's a huge important part of my movie." And then Fox was like, all right, let's get to talking. We want the Teenage Nebula Warhead in Deadpool. And then they're like, fine, take it. I don't really care about that at all. But then that opened up communications and it got, the Marvel telescope pointed onto Fox Studios and it was like, you know what? Why do we have to negotiate with Fox? Let's just buy the company. And it all started with ego. And I can't stay mad at ego.
I can, and I will.
Yeah, like I don't know what they were thinking with the giant brain. Like they saw 2003's Hulk and Absorbing Man in that.
It doesn't
right?
make any sense how Mantis keeps on warning them like he's so omnipotent, omnipotent, and then for that to just never actually be a problem when they're fighting him.
What? I don't know. Dumb it down for me. What does the amputee word you just said mean?
He can be like everywhere and he hears everything unless he's like asleep. And then that never becomes a problem when he's like fighting them. Like he only can fight Star-Lord. That's it. And then like, why can't he just make a bunch of himself using the dirt or whatever and fight all the Guardians? And why can't he create a tiny version of himself and like punch BG, Baby Groot, in the face?
Well, there's a lot of unanswered questions. Why did they have a Pac-Man in there?
Uh,
Why
yeah.
Pixels.
why did the last act of the movie just completely fall off? Why was David Hasselhoff a thing?
And you're really hung up on that David Hasselhoff, aren't you? You want him to be your dad? Is that it?
Will we ever get a bearded Superman?
Yes.
But yeah, like I just don't understand because I just don't get why movies don't learn from their mistakes. We got two fart clouds from Fantastic Four, and then we got it repeated in Green Lantern. We got a giant brain jellyfish in 2003's Hulk, and then we get this, and it's been this came out in 2017, so it was what's 17 subtracted by 3? Oh god.
15, 14.
14. It was 14 years after Hulk, and like, why would you do that? Why? Because that's all I could think about when I saw
I
that
think
giant brain.
I think when they were, or a lot of people were comparing this to like Star Wars, they're like, maybe we can do a Star Wars where it's like a big thing and you have to get to the special part to hurt it, and then it's all done.
Yeah. No, yeah, this no doubt was trying to play with uh Star Wars tropes or whatever, and like the whole Empire Strikes Back philosophy of, oh, it has to be more darker and personal. Well, not necessarily darker for this movie, but it has to be a personal relationship. And they tried to have a I am your father moment with the I killed your mom moment, but it wasn't as good, clearly.
Um. Okay, I think we ragged on Ego pretty hard. Do you want to do Nebula?
I was gonna say, speaking of kind of, well, Nebula was fine. I was gonna speak of more new characters and Mantis. What any thoughts on Mantis?
Apparently, well, she's ugly. She's really ugly.
What? Are you serious?
That's the joke. Remember?
Okay, no, that's what I thought. You better be just quoting Drax. Better not be serious about that. Because Klementieff, I'm pretty sure, or is it Klementieff? I never know how to pronounce that. I have to watch an interview with somebody saying it, or her actually saying it. But I think she's beautiful. And I think that Mantis, like Rose in The Last Jedi, gets a bad rap for some reason. I don't know what's up with uh, people and not liking side characters. They're supposed to be side characters. I don't know if they want them to be more front and center or what, but that's what a side character is. So, you know, go back to your corner and stay there.
Maybe did Rose in Star Wars have an annoying voice? Because that did it for me.
No.
Sometimes when I touch somebody, I get really emotional, and you're like, just shut up, just shut up,
But
shut your mouth. Hey, go do something, because talking isn't your thing.
that
I
was a
get
part
it.
of her character though.
You think of yourself as a flea on a dog, and you probably have no interaction with humans other than right before they die and get sucked up. But seriously, I mean, the accent, the voice, I don't know what it was. It was just too much for me.
I thought it was pretty cool. Not the because I think you have more of a problem with the tone of her voice, but that's just sounds like a personal thing. But I thought it was pretty cool how she was able to blend almost like three different accents together. Because when I hear her talk, I hear like three or four different accents, and I'm like, this is pretty crazy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
You know what also is pretty crazy is that the line "It's so fluffy, I want to die" gets put into another movie. Holy crap! It's so fluffy, the cute puppy makes me want to scream my pants. Like, didn't we already do this and it didn't work out?
Hey, you shut your mouth. Despicable Me was a great. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Cool outfit though. Cool Mantis outfit though. I mean, I would say that. I would wear that. All the outfits and the designs in this movie with Gamora, Nebula, Star Lord got a new outfit. I don't think Yondu did. Not too sure. But yeah,
He gets his mohawk,
well, yeah,
Oh
but I
yeah.
meant like clothing design wise.
which I thought was a very cool thing to add. And bringing it up, I think we should talk about the big blue mohawked elephant in the room. What did we all think of Yondu and his send off?
All right, y'all go first, and then I'm gonna get into my whole spiel last. So
Dude, the part where he breaks out with the help of Groot, Rocket, and James Gunn's brother, and come a little bit closer, starts
I think it's
playing.
Sean Gunn, isn't it? Sean Gunn.
Who cares? It's James Gunn's brother.
Oh,
Everybody will know him from now on. That scene where he's just like whipping everybody with his arrow. It's just like, you're dead, you're dead. What are you doing? You're drinking something, you're dead, 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 dead. I'm like, how is this guy, not himself the guardian of the galaxy? Just killing everything in its path. I don't know why they didn't use him more. He's kind of OP in this one. The scene, we see a quick flashback of young young dude teaching young Star Lord how to shoot in like some woods, I think. But that, like, to see Papa Yondu real fast, it's amazing. I love this character so much. Michael Rooker too, as an actor, is just a great person overall. I mean, he goes to, I think, every single Comic-Con he can and just like interacts with the fans as much as he can. He's
yeah,
awesome. I love him.
he's a Texan, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Um.
Southern hospitality right there, showing with his little hillbilly whistle.
Okay. Too far. So for me, Yondu had the opposite effect of Drax, because Drax, I went from not liking him to not liking him, and for Yondu, I didn't really like him so much in the first one, but in this one, I really do like him a lot. I felt like they could have had even more Yondu if they wanted more Yondu and Star Lord in particular. I thought they were kind of split up for the majority of the movie because Yondu was with Rocket and whatnot on like that whole side mission story. But yeah, like it was great. All of that was great. Him and Star Lord's relationship definitely flourished and climaxed towards the end, obviously, when he's about to sacrifice himself so that Star Lord can live. That was amazing because, like, that came full circle and actually paid off, because if you think about it, like, he took Star Lord away to begin with and was quote unquote gonna like eat him or feed him to his crew or whatever, and now he's like sending him away again, but this time he's like saving his life, so it's kind of cool when you think about it.
Both
But anyway,
actors.
now
I was gonna
yeah,
say both
now
actors on those in that scene is truly incredible. Oscar award-winning performances on both parts.
I don't know about that,
yeah,
but yeah.
I
I'm
I
just
I feel like
If you
I
didn't
went
cry,
from going liking Yondu. I thought Yondu was okay in the first one. I mean, all his parts were good in it. Um, um, but in volume two, we get to know more into the character. We didn't really know that much about Yondu in the first one, and just getting to know him, especially in the scene where he's relating to a Rocket, both really great for the way for these two to bond in this moment. But I think both Rocket and Yondu were getting uh, were benefited from us going into their backstories a bit and their personalities and why the way they are.
I don't like that
Um,
scene
you know,
because they could have they were wasting time. Like if they had not had that heart-to-heart moment, and they could have probably saved himself. He probably could have been like, "Oh, don't forget to grab these."
Oh, you know why? You know what would have been a better way to save Yondu? How about Star-Lord using his helmet?
It
Where did that
broke.
go?
It broke.
Nuh-uh. Mm-mm.
Yes, it did. It broke during the fight with Ego. He slapped him in the face and it broke in half.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, in this one though, it was different from the first one, I think, where he could just like put it in his ear or whatever, and then it like,
Yeah, exactly.
grew. So why didn't he have multiple of those things?
Mhm.
But I mean, I get what Steven's
Or the
saying that.
old one.
Yeah, or the old
Just
one.
saying.
Okay, but real quick, we got to get into my theory real quick. My whole spiel on
Well, I
Will
was gonna say
Yondu.
that the Cat Stevens father son song was really good.
So will Yondu
I,
return?
I like
I
that. I
think
like that song.
I think yes. He's gonna return, and guess what? This is my theory. He's gonna return as another character. They're gonna like not reincarnate, but just like basically bring him
His
back to
name
life as
his name is Wundo.
no,
Wandu.
no, 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 no. They're gonna bring him back. Are you ready for this? I'm about to blow y'all's minds. They're gonna bring him back as Quasar, son.
Who's that?
Oh.
He's
Michael Rooker
totally
is gonna be Quasar.
Michael Rooker is going to come back to life. He's going to straight up be Quasar. They're going to give us the Superman resurrection we deserve. He's going to come back in all his glory, red, yellow, or gold, however they're going to, portray it. He's totally going to be Quasar. They're going to revive him with either like the time gem. I don't know what gem they could use. They could use any gem. Like
It seems
to
like
be honest.
it's a woman now.
Or I don't know if maybe Captain Marvel will find him in space, like floating around. But yeah, he's totally going to be Quasar.
Who's
Can,
this Quasar? Because you gotta. Who is that?
Okay, all right. You ready for this?
well, I was gonna say, imagine Michael Rooker saying Quasar.
Quasar.
I'm Quasar, y'all. Like, no.
Quasar.
I didn't Quasar with my heart, boy. I Quasar with my mind. I'm Mary Poppins.
Look, Quasar is like one of the most powerful cosmic characters in the Marvel universe. I forget what team was he a part of besides the Guardians.
The Marvel Zombie Sentry Avenger team is what I'm looking at here.
Marvel Zombie. No, he was part of like a cosmic. It included like Silver Surfer.
Star Master.
I'm trying to remember who was on the
Pegasus.
cover. Pegasus. I don't know. Darn it, I'm forgetting now. Anyway, Silver Surfer was totally on the team. I'm pretty sure Beta Ray Bill was on the team as well. It was like two other cosmic characters.
Defenders?
Oh my gosh. Wait, hold up, guys.
You're thinking of a wrong character, aren't you?
Yep.
I was like,
say,
I
there's
don't know.
no way that this guy / girl.
Yeah, because I was wondering why you were saying girl.
Yeah.
Who are you
girl.
thinking of?
Oh my gosh, who is it? I thought it was Quasar. He has a fin just like
You mean Gladiator? Gladiator has a mohawk.
Oh my god, it's Gladiator.
The purple dude?
Oh, yeah, he's talking about Gladiator.
Gladiator. Well, that just ruined everything. But yeah, he was in a team with Silver Surfer,
He's like part of the X-Men, isn't he?
Beta Ray Bill, and all that. Well, no, he's more of a cosmic character, but I think he appeared in X-Men. But yeah, that's who I was thinking of. I just got the names confused.
Isn't his whole power set like if he doesn't believe in his powers, they don't work? It's like kind of a Thor thing where it's like psychosomatic, or I don't know.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the team he was a part of.
I did find deviant art of somebody wanting none other than The Rock to be Gladiator.
Oh, hey, Marvel doesn't own the rights to Gladiator.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's an X-Men character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now they do, but James Gunn was asked, "Are you going to use Gladiator?" And he said no because he doesn't own the rights. Didn't stop him from using Ego. Thank you, Ego. But that was back in
Well, they
2015.
they had traded. I know with Ego they had traded a few X-Men characters that they did have the rights to Fox because they were going to use them in Deadpool. So I think that it must have included Nega Sonic Teenage Warhead
Oh,
and
that's
whatever
such a
other
cool name.
whatever other side character mutants that were in Deadpool. Um, like Colossus, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure they already had the rights to.
what a wash! Sorry for all our listeners who are expecting Chaz's big theory reveal.
Well, hey, there's a lot of cosmic characters. I just got the names mixed up, but this was the character I was thinking of,
All
and
right.
Gladiator.
I still can't find the team he was a part of, so I probably should have done more research. But I swear to God, I have the picture in my mind of him walking out of this like spaceship with Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, and two other cosmic characters. Just let me know in the comments who it is. But I mean, I don't know. I don't care what James Gunn says anymore. I'm sorry. Like they're gonna get the rights eventually to everyone. It's all gonna come back together in the Fantastic Phase 4. So
Ha!
uh
I like that.
yeah, anything's gonna be possible. The floodgates are gonna be open. We're gonna get Galactus. It's gonna go so cosmic. I just really want them to get Eternals going already. But you guys don't think Gladiator could be, or that Yandu could come back as Gladiator?
No, because those are two separate characters.
Yeah, I think you're being a
Yeah,
little
but
racist.
so is Ego and like every other character in David Hasselhoff that they combined into this one dude.
What? No.
Because they combined Peter's dad and a celestial, and Ego the Living Planet. Ego the Living Planet is not a celestial.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him there, but that's more of like just the lore. They're not really, I mean, yeah, they're not turning characters into other characters.
I don't know.
Anyway,
That's literally what they did
uh,
with Ego.
speaking of disappointments, I'm just kidding. um,
I'm sorry, I
I
failed
think,
everybody.
uh, I think it's time to give our final thoughts of Two Guardians, Two Galaxy. So yeah, Steven, do you have your final thoughts?
Um, you know what? First, I have a quick question for both of you that kind of is important.
Uh,
Who had the better soundtrack, this movie or the first movie?
I
Definitely
find
the
myself,
first.
I find myself actually playing, I think, a little bit more from the second one. However, the first ones do have a lot of like um bangers on them. Like I do appreciate the chain. I do appreciate Redbone's uh contribution.
Yeah. You got
Um
Bowie's Moon Age Daydream, Cherry
I kind of
Bomb.
I kind of don't like Moon Age Daydream, but I mean that's
What?
just that I like David Bowie. I mean, I don't like Moon Age Daydream that much.
So the reason I was asking that is because I don't think I felt a lot of the first soundtrack went into the movie. I get, like you said, bangers, and the movie was a banger, and you're just like, this movie's amazing. But the second movie soundtrack, it had the emotional side of music. How the part where uh the slow-mo walk with the Guardians splitting up and one Star Lord's going with his dad and Rocket staying with Nebula. And I was like, if you
Oh
don't
yeah,
know now,
I thought that was a very good scene. Sorry, you brought that up about when Rocket says to Gamora he's only losing one friend a day. I totally didn't know he was talking about Yondu and not Quill. I thought that was
oh, oh, I didn't know that either.
because he knew that Yondu was going to sacrifice himself. She didn't. It wasn't say like I'm losing only one friend a day. Like I'm willing to sacrifice Peter.
Yeah.
He knew what Yondu was going
Wait,
to do, and
hold up, real quick. Back to the soundtrack. because
Yeah.
all I can think about is The Chain. What other songs were in this movie?
Redbone, obviously.
And Mr. Blue and
Wait,
Mr. Blue.
Redbone was the first movie.
Oh, sorry, we're talking about second movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, second movie was Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah,
Then
okay.
we also have the Cat Stevens, father and son.
And
Um,
if you don't love me now, you don't ever get to love me again. I ain't still
no,
wanna.
that's the chain from the
Oh
other
yeah, that
one.
one. And then from come a little bit closer. It's so big and strong. And
Yeah, they have that one.
and then I think there's Fleetwood Macs.
Nope, that's the chain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See,
Yeah.
see the Mr.
Man, I love the chain. You have
Mr.
is Fox on the Run the first one or the second one?
I don't know. Mr. Blue
I
Sky,
think that second
I
one is
could
Fox on
listen
the Run.
to. I could listen to over and over again.
I
I
think
think
that's what
Fox on the Run is a really good one, and I think that's the second one too. I think the second one I've heard it more recently. Um, so maybe that's why I'm that one. I think both of them are really good. I think both of them have really good soundtracks. And I can't wait for us to get to see what's on that Zune that well, I guess we know, one of the songs.
yeah,
on that Zune.
Fox on the Run is in the second one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, wait. Whose final thoughts is this? I got
I'm
confused.
trying to finish.
Yeah.
Y'all.
But tell us what songs you want to hear in Guardians of the Galaxy 300 songs.
Is it what's Wham Bam Shamalam?
That one's the one that where it's the done by what's it? It's like I only know it. It's the one that's like Daddy's all right. Na na na.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
So is it Surrender?
I think.
Is that what it's called? I think it's called Surrender.
I mean, he says that over and over again, so I assume.
I don't remember what I meant to say at the beginning before I got rudely interrupted.
You're the one who brought this question up.
It's called final thoughts, mean nobody else talk.
You asked this question of what's the better soundtrack.
And then you gave it, and then I started going into my final thought about how Rocket and Nebula were all sad faced and saying, hey, wait a minute, guys, love me. Don't go into the next adventure. You gotta love me for who I am. And Nebula to Gamora and Rocket to, I think, Peter, like as a friend.
Well, yeah, because they were all up in each other's faces throughout the movie.
Right. And, I don't think we talked about him that much, but Rocket as a character, first of all, the CGI and the effects on him were crazy. If y'all think like a new PS4 or Xbox One 4K game is, tight, the hairs on his fur, or you think The Incredibles, just because his shirt's got a little fuzzy on it, I don't care about that movie at all. But Rocket Raccoon's like individual fur and eyes and everything about him was truly amazing. But the fact that he like took on the Ravager crew by himself, setting up traps, and when he was unarmed, just used his pure rocket raccoon-like powers, which made me more afraid of raccoons than I already am. That was awesome. The fact that hold up. Final thoughts is the rating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Let me pull that up. All right, here we go. The fact that he used his raccoon powers, he's a great character in this film. He probably did it a lot. The part I don't like about Nebula was also great. Her in the third act. I think she really proved herself in the third act. But throughout the whole movie where she was like, release me. I want some fruit. Give me that pear. Give me that space pear. I want that space pear right now. Oh, no, it's not ripe enough.
That was hilarious. I like that joke.
What? Was that a joke? I don't even understand that.
Where she just wants to eat it because she's hungry, and everyone's like, no, trust me, you don't want to eat it. And then eventually she does eat it, and she's like, ah, crap. It's hilarious.
You hear that silence?
No comment.
Yeah, that's the silence of nobody laughing.
I'll save it for my final thoughts.
Right. Good.
Speaking of great snacks when you're hungry, go to Chipotle.
Don't.
Yeah.
I know that Dr. Cosmic said it at the beginning of this movie, how he noticed that the monster was shooting out rainbows out of his mouth. And then when we get to Eagle Planet, there was these like rainbow bubbles for no apparent reason. And everybody's like, look at this. Is this part of the 3D experience you were looking for? And you're like, no. Okay, the rainbows was ridiculous and I didn't like it. But
it was not that big a deal. It was just for kind of like ambiance.
Yeah, but they
like it wasn't like they didn't
final
make
thoughts,
it a real.
Final thoughts.
Okay.
Save it for yours. Save it for yours. But the part that I did like is that kind of like with Black Panther, how the mythology and the way of life that space has, that the Guardians of the Galaxy has, it just was beautiful and unique. And you're like, I wonder how everything works. You know, it's kind of like Star Wars, where you kind of like want to live in there and like want to experience for yourself. It just like makes you like think that you'll never really know everything there is to know about space and the way of life in it, and you'll probably die alone. But I mean, that soundtrack was pretty amazing also. So for me, I think did I give it the first one? First one gave it a 6. Man, I want to say 4, but I'm gonna man, it was also really good. I'm stuck between 4 and 5. Gonna go with 4. I'm gonna stay with 4.
All right. I mean, I think that is a very good score. I think that fits well for the movie. Chaz, how about yourself? What are your what's your rating for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think, man, the first half of this movie is really good, and that's what actually, draws me to come back to this movie a lot and rewatch it, because I feel like I've rewatched this movie. It's probably second or third to Civil War. Like Civil War, I've probably rewatched the most. I can't think of what would be second. This is tied with something else, but I can't recall right now. But anyway, I've rewatched this movie a lot, and I don't know why, because I hate it, but I love it. It's like what Steven said. There's a lot to hate about it, but there's also a lot to like. Some of the positives I have with this movie are definitely Star-Lord stayed Star-Lord, but he wasn't bad in this movie, so he's a plus. Gamora towards the end was really good. Nebula was actually good throughout the whole thing. I really liked her. Karen Gillan is incredible. Definitely, she's going to be getting more roles in the near future. I can't imagine that she wouldn't.
I was going to say, I think she did the same she followed the same kind of path as Yondu did for me, as far as character lists go. Nebula, she was okay in that first one, but in this one, she did have her comedy bits. We dived into her backstory more, and therefore just makes her straight up more likable.
Yeah. And I feel, well, I actually really liked her in the first one as well. I think her acting chops are really like understated.
Oh, right. No, Karen did a wonderful job. My thing was just in the character of herself. Like, in my list of characters that I liked in this movie, Nebula wasn't high on the list because it was just like she did her role. She was kind of the bad henchwoman.
And Yondu, look, he's coming back as Gladiator, y'all. All right. I'm sorry that I got it mixed up with Quasar. By the way, I finally remembered. It's the Annihilators. He's a part of the Annihilators. And guess who's in that team? Quasar. And so I just got it mixed up. So okay. Quasar's in that team, Beta Ray,
You
Surfer.
Saw a yearbook picture of them, and you didn't read the left to right. And you're like, which one's Quasar? Is he on the bleacher? Is he on the...
guess what? Who else is in that team? Nova. So I mean, I don't know. I know you guys don't think. I mean, okay, maybe it's not Yandu, but they definitely could do something in the future with Gladiator, Surfer,
Nova's
and
gonna be
Nova.
that old lady from that first Guardians.
Oh Lord, please
That's
no.
gonna be the Nova we get.
You mean discount Meryl Streep? Anyway,
Or the is it McBride? What's the Step Brothers guy? That's gonna be Nova.
yeah. We also got Stallone, which we didn't even talk about.
I
Stallone in this
purposely
movie.
didn't bring him up. I'm like, that was another that he
Yeah,
was my David Hasselhoff. I was like, why did we need Sylvester Stallone in this movie?
So
yeah.
he can mispronounce Ravengers.
I'm not
Yeah,
one to
like
typecast,
he,
but I can only see Stallone as Rocky. He's nobody else but Rocky. I'm sorry, Stallone. I've typecasted you.
I apologize on I feel sorry for Sly. Like, what was why did he need this? I guess for the money, but I mean, Creed did really good. They
Yeah.
totally snubbed him out of an Oscar, but I'm like, you ain't gonna win any Oscars doing this role.
So overall, like I want to give this movie a 4 because that's what I gave the first Guardians, but there's just so much to dislike, and I know rewatchability is a big thing, but I'm gonna have to give this movie a 3 out of 6 Infinity Stones. Uh, Granted, that is like the strongest 3 probably I'll give, or I have given a movie because I think the other threes that I've given is the Incredible Hulk and then Captain America: The First Avenger.
And Iron Man
This
2.
one, this one would probably be the strongest, and then First Avenger following, and then probably Hulk coming in last. Oh, Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. Oh yeah, I did give that a 3. Um, yeah, that one would probably push out the Hulk a little bit, just by a smidgen. But yeah, this one, it's for some reason rewatchable, but I think I just like rewatching it to point out all the flaws. I don't know. I'm some kind of egomaniacal person, and it just
Oh,
makes me feel good about my
egomaniacal. I see what you did there.
makes me feel good about my you know, poor life. Oh, also, what they need to play in the next movie, Guardians 3, is the Proclaimers I'm gonna be slash 500 miles. I will walk 500 miles.
And I will walk
500 more.
just to be the man.
Swear to
Uh,
God, I could listen
I,
to that song and Mr. Blue Sky on repeat for like thousands of years.
how about
Just
instead?
those
I'm
two songs.
in my suggestion box. I'm gonna do the Black Eyed Peas. I'm a bee.
What?
Just did his mom go to the future or something? And
yeah, it's on the Zune. It's not his mom's Zune anymore.
Oh,
oh
dude, he
wait, that's
lost a
right.
walk.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yondu
Walkman.
Zune. Yondu Zune is gonna be busting Black Eyed Peas. I don't know.
Oh, dang. R.I.P.
He's got
Walkman.
he's got some
Exactly.
space tech in there that like picks up radio waves from like thousands of light years away.
We're probably gonna get like no joke, like an original song by somebody, like a Justin Timberlake troll song.
Oh Lord, please don't.
I got this feeling inside my celestial bones, except I'm not a celestial no more. Anyway,
I
my
am
final
Groot.
thoughts. Yeah, exactly. It's just gonna be I'm Groot over and over again. Um, my final thoughts. I'm kind of glad that Chaz gave it a 3 because I was on the fence about giving it a 3 or a 4. So I'm with you guys too. I feel like this second time around just doesn't capture the essence that the first one did. It just has this kind of magic that was. I mean, in all honesty, I do like this film. I do like it a lot. It was a hell of a lot more emotional than the first one, with a lot of great, fantastic character build-up. Um, this Yondu and Star-Lord moment at the very end, very emotional. Peter Star-Lord was great in it. Um, Rocket again, everything. Yeah, I think Um, it's just that the movie was very also colorful and eye popping. I mean, it's just the plot I think was very weak to the first Guardians for some reason. Maybe because it didn't have just this MacGuffin that for them to run around and chase, whereas that was kind of the premise. Whereas this one, the premise was kind of just save the galaxy, but I mean, it was only because they stumbled upon it that it was a problem in the first place, or something like. I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Uh, oof, I am stuck. Do I give it a 4? Do I give it a 3? I think I'm gonna give it a 4. I
So
think
we're three,
it's
four, five.
No,
no, we're at 3, 4, 4.
Oh, I thought Steven gave it a 5.
no, I did not. I should have. I'm still on the fence between it, but I keep
I'm
going
get
back to the Nebula pear eating scene, and she just is like, "It's not ripe yet." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, thanks for that. Can you go back to the corner? Why don't you go kill your sister and be useful or something?"
You know who
It's
else
not
is
um
ripe
still on
yet.
the fence?
I think 4 is fair because it's not as good as the first one. However, it's not bad. Um,
It's not
uh,
bad.
it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. It's just not as good.
I gave Iron Man and Doctor Strange a number and Captain America: The First Avenger a 4. So those are pretty good movies. I
You know
wouldn't.
why this movie wasn't good? Because Arnold wasn't in it. They give it to Stallone, but not Arnold.
What? What is this?
Why Stallone?
Because
Arnold make good movie. I be Mr. Freeze. You give it to
Honestly, I
Arnold.
honestly Arnold would definitely make more sense. I mean, he's been in Terminator. He's been in like The Last Action Hero. Like he's been in more wacky roles, and Stallone is just like, I've never heard of the word Ravager before.
He literally fought an alien in from space.
I mean, technically, I mean, Stallone did do Demolition Man, which is, I'm pretty sure, just a fever dream that we somehow recorded in somebody's brain. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, I just want to make it perfectly clear that this is not a
why
bad.
wasn't there? Now I'm upset that they didn't do a Demolition Man shout out or reference. Like, why was there never like?
You want to
Why
grab
didn't they like?
Taco
Hey,
Bell?
remember when Yondu first joined the academy and I had to show him how to use the 3 seashells? Ha 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 ha! And they
Well,
all
I
like
feel
laugh.
I feel like Stallone and his crew were a lot of it was a lot of setup. So hopefully it'll some stuff will pay
Hon-
off in the third movie.
Honestly, it was all just set up. Hey, you'll never get fireworks at your funeral. Hey, look, I brought fireworks.
Yeah.
Like that's all he was ever.
Happy birthday! Pew 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 pew. What about Miley Cyrus being in the film?
We're not talking about that.
Lex Luthor
um,
from Smallville.
nope, not skipping those guys too.
All right then.
That
What?
was such an obscure reference that it does not need to be talked about. It's
Well, yeah,
more
they
Kryptonite.
eccentric gun.
I don't
He's
even think they
kryptonite.
talked, so
Yeah, honestly. But you know what we need to talk about?
Taserface.
Nope, neither that. Gosh, I want to change. I want to give this a lower score now. We need to talk about negative reviews. Let's head on down to the negative zone after we get that sweet mirror screen by Steven.
we'll head
Yeah, I
in.
mean that's how you descend into the
We're,
negative zone, and
yeah,
also
we're
Yeah,
we're
well
going
done.
into the negative zone, but you got to make a detour through the mirror dimension.
Gosh, we forgot to talk about that scene where Rocket and Yandu jump dimensions.
Yeah,
or the scene
that was
after that where Baby Groot barfs.
that was borderline over the top. Their faces melting, but it was still really funny.
I want to
Again,
know
why
the
didn't
budget on this movie because it is must be crazy.
they didn't die from that, even though he says, we're gonna die. And they're like, okay. And then we're like, we didn't die. And we're like, okay. There was like nothing like, you're a celestial too, Rocket. You know, there was nothing like that. Because that's what happened in the first movie. Like there was some death threats that they could almost die. And they did almost die. They almost got strangled in prison. They almost drowned in a bunch of bone marrow fluid. But then in this one, they're like, oh, no, we're just going to bounce around off trees and try to, you know, warp our bodies 700 times in itself.
I still want the Marvel one shot we were talking about where Strange is floating through space and we still hear Tilda Swinton narrating, who are you? And then he just gets smacked by their ship while they're flying through space. I want that.
And be like, oh, sorry about that. Let me just wipe that off. Back to where I was. Magic is really chi, just altered in the dark dimension. Not going to show you that either.
I'm not going to show you this dimension where you were a dragon and you were like threatening hobbits or whatever. We're not going to show you that dimension either.
Yeah. They're all dimensions, all linked together. Quick question. What do you think about the Soul Stone? Do you think it's Adam Warlock or you still think it's in the Earth's core?
That sounds like spoilers. I don't mess with spoilers.
It was in Black Panther. You saw Black Panther.
The Soul Stone wasn't in Black Panther.
No, but they,
let's not. Let's. I mean, yeah. I mean,
right.
Yes, but also no.
Good to know. Good to know that you have an honest.
Do I think the Soul Stone exists? Yes.
Okay. So I got a guy called Jeff Jarvis, JJ, May 2nd, 2017. Gave it a 4 out of 10.
All right.
Sorry. Very disappointing. I have to start by saying the first film was my favorite film of the last few years, and I'm a huge fan. But let's be honest, this was a huge letdown of a sequel after an amazing first film. The first had a good story, fleshed out characters, believable villains, genuine affection, drama, tension, and a soundtrack that was original and used brilliantly. This film...
original soundtrack. I don't think either of these movies has that.
This film had a weak, bloated story, almost every scene filled with forced, cheap gags, unbelievable and disappointing bad guys who tried to wisecrack through and lost any menace. Acting was poor, apart from Yondu and Nebula, who was woefully underused. This was like a comedy parody of the first film, a goofy TV sequel that none of the magic of the original blockbuster. At one point, Drax wisecracks that he does big turds. I'd venture none as big as avoid.
Oh, he's one of those one-worded sentences type of people.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah?
Go ahead.
Finish it.
You know what? I forget when the TV show came out. Did the TV show come out of the first Guardians or the second Guardians?
Out of the first Guardians for sure.
Because I think that show could be a better movie than
No way. That show was terrible.
I don't know.
Again, this movie isn't that bad. However, I still can't shake the feeling that this feels more of I kind of agree, like a Hollywood, like a holiday special. Like, it's not supposed to kind of be canon. Like, they don't really do anything that kind of matters, you know?
Except kill Yondu, the best character.
Yeah, but, like, was he gonna fight Thanos? I don't think so.
He could have shot the arrow right through his face.
Well, if he becomes Gladiator, then, you know, who knows what could happen, guys.
If Gladiator and North
Star, where else you never know what's gonna happen? At Chipotle. At Chipotle, they're always.
Actually, I do know what's gonna happen, and most people would say, you know, diarrheas.
That Chipotle. I mean, has anybody got sick from Chipotle? Like
I've never got sick from
Why are
Chipotle.
you
I think
calling it that?
that whole thing
Chipotle?
was.
You're saying it like a sh.
Chipotle.
Yeah, no,
Ship,
that's not.
ship. You ship them? You
Oh,
like
you're
shipping
saying
stuff?
with a K, Chipotle.
Nope, none of that. All right,
It's like
Anyway,
the thing you eat. You eat chips. You don't
we're
eat
not we're
ships.
not gonna get sponsored by Chipotle if you keep on
I mean, you could
making
eat
fun of their
chips,
name.
man, if you're like a giant man.
how
I mean,
about Howard the Duck?
why did we have to bring him back, and why did he have to talk about like sex or whatever? Like
Because that's what he did in his movie. He literally did that.
nobody watched that. If you watched the Howard the Duck movie, please comment below on why your brain let your body walk into the theater without like trying to hemorrhage itself or whatever. I don't know. That was like, gosh,
Did it come out in the theater? I thought it was like a straight to VHS kind of thing.
I don't know.
I mean, I did the same thing with Green Lantern, so I can't really blame people too much
Green
for that.
Lantern, Green Lantern had hopes. There was no hope for Howard the Duck. Nobody was asking for a Howard the Duck movie.
I wish they gave him a better
I
outfit than
don't
the one.
know. People were asking for a duck. They wanted a duck, and they wanted a Howard, a guy named Howard, and they wanted him to be like this, guy from space, a duck from space. We wanted Daffy Duck from space, or not Daffy, because we're not Warner Brothers. We wanted what's his name, Donald. Donald. We wanted Donnie Duck.
Boy, that was almost as bad of a joke as that Nebula eating a pear joke.
That's what I was going for, actually.
Oh, then that was pretty funny then.
That's pretty.
My thing would have been Howard the Great would have been fine if he had worn a different outfit, but it looks like he was still in that same suit he was. I mean, I know it's probably hard to find a duck tailor in the middle of a space, but just try a little bit.
It's actually not that hard.
It's not. Yeah, probably with Rocket running around.
I also thought it was weird why we got to see like a sex robot brothel in this movie.
Nope, wasn't weird for me.
I do want a Howard the Duck movie. If it's the same guys that made Paul, I want it to be like Paul. This will be Marvel's first R-rated movie. It's gonna be Howard the Duck. We're gonna throw in
Why do people think Howard the Duck is like this Deadpool, like, memey character?
Because he F's chicks.
That's not his.
He bones the gears of those robot chicks. He sticks your tail feathers in.
Okay. I think it's just
Beak wet. He gets his beak wet.
I don't know. I think it just turned
That's
into that ever
yeah.
since Seth Green, voiced him.
What?
Which
Is that what
did-
happened?
which
Seth
did
Green is Howard the Duck
What?
yeah.
In this film.
Yeah.
in both
What?
films.
That's great. Well, I mean, one line of dialogue doesn't count as a film.
Oh, really? Because that's what he did in this one.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay. I got one more negative zone because we are pretty ragging on it. Urethra. Wait, what does that say? Urethra Painter. Urethra Painter? July 8th, 2017. Gave it a 3 out of 10. Said Guardians of the what? The most astonishing thing about this movie to me is how fast I forgot the whole entire experience. I kind of remember that cool opening scene with Groot, but after that, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 moves from one action scene to the next, with a bunch of random banter about an extended family, which is completely constricted in the final 15 minutes. I almost remember a bunch of absurd happenings during the actual scenes, improbable results, luck, weird environments that do not follow any known physics, and characters screaming at one another over the ambient sound. To paraphrase somebody's wisdom, the script wasn't the result of time, hard work, skill, or craftsmanship. Things happen on the screen because the screenwriters say so. This is what many superhero films have become. glorified CGI cartoons that feel like really long TV episodes. Ironic, too, in the age of great TV writing, many blockbuster films have been reduced to mass worldwide appeal instead of any unique writer-director vision. I didn't really like this movie. 3 out of 10.
I felt a lot of the writing in this movie was very rough draft, a lot of improv. Like I didn't understand the whole thinking Kurt Russell was a tiny man.
Oh man, that
Like
was a terrible joke.
why did Rocket Raccoon not understand like perspective? I thought like Drax was supposed to be the literal one.
I thought it was Ant-Man, to be honest. I was like, oh my god, that's like Wasp's like boyfriend.
Do you not know how like perspective works though?
I think once you put in a poop joke about how big your turds are, the film kind of goes downhill from there.
That's genuinely funny though.
Yeah, it is. It is. But the fact that you have to reduce yourself to that kind of jokes, I don't know. It makes me think like a nipple joke's going to be next. And it was. Stop. You can't laugh at that.
Or
That's
spitting out a pear just for
Oh,
like the 3D effect.
your guys' qualms are about like the best jokes ever, and then I'm talking about actual problems, and you guys are just like, yeah, that was bad too, and I'm like, those things are not on the same level.
what are you talking about? Talking about how Quasar didn't get with Gladiator and make a tiny Yondu again?
Hey, do you guys
I
remember
wasn't
that one
talking about.
time Ego was a jellyfish brain head?
No, I don't remember that because he wasn't a jellyfish brain. Brain.
Him and Brian Banner, whatever his name was, whatever Bruce Banner's father, isn't. It's not his father. It's his fake father. It's
I
fake
thought his
news.
name was Bethany. No, that's his girlfriend.
Anyway, they're totally bumping brains, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
All right, I think that's a. Do you have any more negative zones?
Now for you, Orphan Boy.
Okay, and just like that, we'll leave off of where we started. Uh, this has been Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Uh, yeah.
Woo!
If you want to hear more content or you want to hear our thoughts on the first one, if this is the first episode you've been finding out on us, go check out our other videos. They should be in the suggested.
Nah, I think I disabled that.
Oh, okay.
I haven't set that up yet.
All right. What do we have set up then?
The subscribe button, I think, is set up.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That can work. You can click that a couple times. What else? What else we have working on this?
I think there's some kind of doorbell that you have to hit that'll let you be notified that.
Oh, notifications. That's right. As we're gearing up toward Avengers Infinity War, we have a few more movies that we're going to be discussing and reviewing and rating here on this channel on Watchers Week. So if you want to know the upcoming one, that's your favorite, and you want to hear our thoughts on it, hurry up and hit that notification bell so that way you can be alerted to when we're going to post that up on there. I believe our next one is Spider-Man Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Spider-Man Homecoming next time on Watchers Week.
We got 2 more films.
2 more films, Watchers Week, Thor Ragnarok, and next thing you know, we're going to be doing a special live event. We might even do a pre-episode to get us ready, kind of maybe some quick thoughts before we head into the theater, which we will see Thursday. Maybe we'll even do a non-spoiler version because I know we're seeing it a little bit earlier than some other people are getting to. Plus, I mean, all the theaters, are going to be super booked, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to go see
So
it
yeah,
like 3 times.
I think we're going to have a lot of Infinity War content coming up. But yeah, If you're wanting to get to know of us, any of us a little bit more intimately, Steven, where can they find you?
You can find me at _Nerdtron on Instagram. Yeah. Right now, the mobile game I'm playing is Contest of Champions, and they just introduced something called Infinity Dungeons, where you get to play, go with a different player of Alliance or any member of the mobile game, and you get to like fight back to back against some people. And it's a really exciting part of the game that they just released a video about. So I'll probably be doing that most of the time.
All right, there you go. And Chaz, where can they find you?
You can find me on Tinder. I'm just kidding. No. You can find me on
Grinder.
Oh man, I can't. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Cosmic. And yep, I talk about obviously movies, not games, not video games, not yet at least. But I got some figure posts there. A lot of comic books I'm reading currently. Getting ready for Infinity War, so going to be posting some of my favorite moments from Infinity Gauntlet, and some other comic books. So yeah, make sure
Yeah,
to follow me there, and I'll be also keeping y'all updated on some stuff we have coming up.
for sure. And if you are wanting to get yourself ready for Infinity War in these next couple days and you have some free time, visit your local comic book shop. Talk to the people behind the counter. I know they might seem a bunch super socially awkward, and you might be a little socially awkward because you're going into a comic book shop. So obviously you are. Just talk to them. Say, yo, Infinity War's coming up. What do I need to know? What's going to get me in the zone? They'll help you out. They'll point you to the right books, the right issues to get you into uh, that Marvel zone, that Marvel feeling. I don't know.
A
uh,
marvelous
Marvel
feeling.
feeling.
yeah, boom. My name's Tim. You can find me at Fishbone Malone on Instagram. I do have a Facebook account, although I am deleting it because I don't like it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Zuckerberg, you hear that, Mark? You hear that, Zuckerberg? We hate you. You're going down.
Look, I've
Um,
always said Instagram is like the perfect meld of Snapchat, Instagram, and
Twitter.
Facebook.
Yeah. So yeah, there I talk about figs, comics, movies too. It's just a nice, safe corner uh, to nerd out. And yeah, I have not been on there as actively because I am avoiding spoilers. Guys, it is tough out here. I am losing my mind. I just can't wait to finally see this movie. I was like watching HGTV, and there was a commercial that came up for Infinity War. I was like, this shouldn't even be. These Venn diagrams are just two circles of people who watch HGTV and are interested in Infinity War. They shouldn't touch. Anyway, so yeah, had to duck out of there real quick. But yeah, also, if I am understanding correctly, because this is such a global wide event, we will be doing a giveaway for Infinity War. This is our second giveaway. We did a first one. Our first one was for Black Panther for when that movie released. So we'll be doing another giveaway for when this one obviously does. And yeah, if you want to know the rules and the regulations and the ways to enter this giveaway, please visit our Instagram at Watchers Week. There we'll be putting up a post where it goes into the specifics. There you can ask any questions if it isn't that clear to you. But we will be giving away.
Who's gonna say it?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do a picture up first.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, put a picture up. That'll be good.
I did it.
Oh, I can't see it. Is it up?
Oh my god. What are you guys seeing right now?
Just you.
Oh, dang, it's blank. Okay. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Now.
Hey,
Boom.
there you go.
Hey.
The Avengers Infinity War Toys R Us exclusive Vision and Scarlet Witch 2-pack. These guys obviously are going to have a big role as both of their powers come from the Mind Stone / Mind Gem, depending on if you're annoying or not. Yeah, and I don't know if you know about this, but Toys R Us is going out of business. I think they're still kicking it in Canada. So it might just Toys R Us might become just a Canadian store now.
Well, guess what? This giveaway isn't for Canadians. Ha ha ha.
Nah, I mean, yeah, probably not. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
you
gonna be a
suck,
lot of
Canadians. Take a maple
you
syrup and get out of
you
here.
guys still have Toys R Us, so I'm sure you'll be able to find these around. But for those of you, this is a Toys R Us exclusive, so there's a limited amount out there, and they've already probably been picked up by all the, you know, other Marvel fans out there, all the other comic book fans. But yeah, we have one, and we're willing to give it away to our fans. And I'm pretty sure one of those rules is definitely going to be to subscribe. So while you're here, just go ahead and click that subscribe button and leave a like or a dislike or any comments that you think of. Where should we take this? What kind of Infinity War content we should give out before or even after we see the movie? And yeah, we appreciate the feedback. It's what gets this channel into the way it is, so that we give out that level of entertainment you expect from us. So thank you for listening. Thank you for all our followers and all our subscribers, and we'll see y'all next week. You guys keep listening, and we'll keep on watching.